Tortora here for another edition of the Dolphin Dive in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne College Dolphins on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. I'm here with representing LeMoyne Dolphins men's soccer, Ziad Abdul Malak, and happy to have you here, Z. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you for having me.
And so I've been appreciating the team, watching the team from afar. I know you guys have had a lot of road games this season, and you just came off your first victory, also on the road. So first and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, a lot of road games. I think it's just adjusted to D1, playing new teams, but we've been having fun, and yeah, it's good to get the first win.
You were out last season due to injury, right? And you had the opportunity to come in this season. When you had to wait your turn and go through something that's out of your control and kind of nurse yourself back, how did you handle that time? Because we talk about mental health and the importance of it. How did you get through all of that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I've never really had to sit out for that long in a season before, but the way I handled it is just staying with your teammates, staying connected, a lot of support from the coaching staff, making sure I was involved in different stuff that was going on, but having good relationships with your teammates, it goes a long way, and obviously they know what you're going through, so they understand, and just talking with them, not being afraid to share your emotions, it made the whole process a little easier.
What can you say your teammates kind of gave you advice-wise, or how they helped you get through it? Like you said, to not be afraid to share your emotions. What are some of the things that you took from when you did have those opportunities to sit with your team and be emotional and talk about what you were going through?
They just supported me. Some guys that I knew went through long-term injuries as well. I would often ask them questions like how maybe their rehab, like how they would do on the sidelines, what they would see on the field, like how they went through it, and then try to implement those kind of strategies. But like I said, like it was just, I know a lot of guys who went through those injuries and had to do it, so I feel like having those mentors, it just made it a lot easier going through that.
And having that mentorship, do you have someone that sticks out especially from the team?
Yeah, I'd say our captain, Brett Stern. I know he went through a couple ACL injuries, which is what I was going through, and he had to sit through some seasons because of that, so I knew that he would know firsthand all about that. So I would go to him, talk to him, how he went through it, and then take some of those pointers. But he was definitely a big vocal presence for me.
So you're on the field this season, just so happens to be a jump, no big deal, from D2 to D1. How have you handled that transition?
I feel like I always knew, like, ourselves as a team, we were better than, I wouldn't say we were like a D2 team. I feel like we always knew we were a good team, so it's definitely some challenges playing. I mean, obviously there's better players, bigger teams, bigger schools, but I feel like we've adjusted well. I feel like in the NE10, the level that we were playing against, they were high level as well, so I feel like the level of teams we're playing against, it's not a huge jump. I think it's prepared us well for that, so I think we've had a good transition into it with the type of teams we're playing against.
And coming off of that first victory and getting to experience that, there's a lot of things that happened that day. It was the first win for LeMoyne men's soccer in Division I, first road win in Division I, first road win in the NEC, and first overall win in the NEC. And it was your coach, Callum Donnelly's first win as a head coach.
Right.
When you put all of that together into one game, that 3-2 victory over Central Connecticut State, what did that moment feel like, and have you taken the time to reflect on it?
I mean, it meant so much. We've been dying for a win. We've had a lot of draws this season, and of course we wanted to do it for our coach because he cares so much about this program and he invests so much time and effort into it. We just wanted to give that back to him, and I know he felt relieved at the full-time whistle when we were able to celebrate. But haven't really had to reflect too much time because got another game. That's how it goes. Just another game the next day. So we got another game Thursday, but it was definitely a lot of weight off our shoulders. I know we've been hoping for that win for a while, but it definitely felt good to get that first win.
Even though that's the one that shows up in the win-loss column as a victory, what has this team been doing throughout these last few weeks that you think have been little wins that you're building off of?
I think we've just been getting closer as a team, just gelling together. I felt like maybe at the start, because we had a good amount of new guys coming in, I feel like at the start it was a bit shaky trying to get everyone to buy into the team, but I feel like as time has gone on and we've gotten some guys come back from injuries as well, I feel like we've really started to gel a little more, and I think we're just getting healthy and getting together at the right time, and hopefully it'll work to make a push towards the playoffs as the season goes on.
And that non-conference play, you started it off against Penn State on the road in University Park. Coach said he doesn't regret the fact that you guys played that game. It was a 4-0 loss, but he thought that it was great to play up against that talent and the other talent you've had non-conference. How does the non-conference this season set you up for the NEC, where you feel like you can have a push toward the postseason?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely shows us the outside competition from our conference and shows that we can play with those teams. I mean, we had tough games against like Delaware and Monmouth. I mean, with Delaware, we came away with a tie, and they were a really good team. So it was a big result for us, even though we didn't win. But I feel like that really showed us that we can play with any of these guys, just because we're a small like a school coming from D2 in Syracuse. I feel like not a lot of people will give us any recognition, but I feel like with those results, the tie, obviously Monmouth was a loss, but the Delaware tie, I feel like that kind of showed us, all right, we can play with these guys, and we're not just like the new kids on the block. Like, we can do something.
Your teammate, I'm going to be speaking with in a couple minutes here, Michael Sparks. Tell me something about him that we don't know.
Jeez.
Well, he stares at you.
He loves to sing. He's a singer.
Loves to sing?
Yeah.
Is he good?
I think you'll have to ask him that.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, we're going to do a thing called rapid fire, which gets to put each other on the hot seat. It's not anything that's pre-planned. We don't know the questions that are coming, but it gives me an opportunity to get to know you and the people watching and listening the same, and you get to put me on the hot seat as well. You get to ask the first question.
Anything?
Anything in the world.
Who's your favorite LeMoyne team?
That is not fair. I'm going to mulligan now. No, I honestly, I don't think I could pick a team, and I'm not saying that politically. I'm saying I've had the opportunity to come out to so many different games and matches, and there's different teams that are evolving in different ways, right? Some are going through coaching changes, some are coming off of injuries, some have a short bench, some have a lot of reserves that they can go to. So I think you're all kind of experiencing things differently, but then similarly, you're all in D1 together. So I think when I wear my LeMoyne D1 shirt, I know I'm not wearing it for a specific team, so I don't think I could choose. Now, if you're asking me to choose which team in Syracuse I lean on, I'm in green and gold, is what I would say.
There you go. That's all I needed.
My first question for you is, who's your favorite broadcaster?
I guess I go Dan Tortora.
He guesses he goes Dan Tortora. All right, no, I did that as a joke coming back. My first one is really going to be favorite, you talked about music, so favorite piece of music. If you picked one song that you had to listen to every game.
Every game.
Every single game.
I'll just go Devil in a New Dress by Kanye West. It's not really a hype song, but it just calms me down, just gets me ready, just cools the nerves a little bit.
All right, I like it. Can respect it. What's your second question?
Second question, I'll go. Do you want like more soccer related?
Anything you want. Could be food, could be music, could be movies, could be soccer.
What would be your death row meal?
My death row meal. Well, I'm Italian and Hispanic, so I'm gonna milk that for a long time. We're gonna have my homemade nachos, my mom's monogot, my grandma's stuffed shells, my other grandma's chicken noodle soup. What else will we do? Have my mom's Italian wedding soup, my grandma's rigot pie. I would do everything in my power to make the meal last as long as it could, to hope that my escape plan would work. So that's what I would do. All right, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, for every meal, what would it be, and why?
I'd probably go, I mean, it's kind of broad, but chicken, but I just mix it up in different ways, like wings and other stuff, fried chicken, I don't know, I just mix it up. Just chicken as a broad statement, but picking apart.
Okay.
In different ways.
So chicken, so because you can do a lot of different things.
Right.
All right. Last question for me.
I'll go. Who's your favorite artist of all time?
Musically?
Yes.
That's tough. I would probably have to say, if I had to pick, because I've also sang my whole life since I was 3, be Boyz II Men. Because I don't think anybody does it better than Wanya Morris. So probably have to say Boyz II Men.
I like that choice.
All right, my last one for you, Z. If you had to wear on the back of your jersey instead of your name, there was a statement, what would the statement say and why?
That's a good question.
It's a great question.
Watch Wake Up Call.
That was probably gonna be a second choice.
Just kidding. I'm gonna have to come back at you for that because the first question you gave me.
Yeah. Wow, it is a good question. Never thought of it. I'd probably just say I like to think about like perseverance often.
Okay.
Definitely a lot. Like during my injury in the rehab, I feel like I thought about that a lot. Just keep going, just one day at a time. So I feel like that's probably where that probably sticks a lot with me.
All right. Well, that coming from Ziad Abdul Malak. Z, I appreciate your time, and we'll be back with your teammate in just a moment.